So, how do I transform myself into a character? Well, I've not had any formal training. I've had some good training. I've had some excellent on the job training. I've had some really, really good directors in the past that have really helped me. And then, of course, I study. There are no laws, no rules out there that say you have to go to an acting class, you have to go to a theater class. There are all kinds of books out there. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube that you can watch. And as the old adage says, experience is the best teacher, especially if you get some really good directors. And I've had some really good directors through my work with Chattanooga Ballet and the Chattanooga Opera Company, as well as other venues. I don't want to mention any names because I'll leave somebody out, and then who knows going to see this? Somebody will be offended. But I've had some really, really good directors, and even when I've worked running crew, when I've worked, on the technical crew, I've worked, lights or stage managed. I'm always paying attention, and I like talking to the directors. I talk to the other actors, and I find out the how and the why behind what they're doing. And so my methods may not be by the book, so to speak, because I haven't had any acting classes. I haven't taken any college courses or anything like that. But well, it's pretty effective, and I think people always tell me they enjoy my performances. So one of the things that I do in preparing for a role, I try to get inside the character's head. And that comes, you have to know the script, you have to know the story. I learned that from Bob Willie in Chattanooga. To really know the character, you have to know the story. Not only do you have to know your character, you have to know the other people's characters, what's their motivation. In the case of the Beast, it's not, he's not a simple character. You could say, oh, well, he's a prince who learned his lesson after being turned into a monster, but now he's trapped. Yeah, that's the surface. That's the surface, the part that everybody knows. But what is he feeling? One of the things that was said about Heath Ledger when he played the part of the Joker in the Batman movie was how convincing he was in that role. And you almost felt empathy for his character, even though he was the bad guy. And I think he really got inside the head of who the Joker was and how messed up the Joker was in the head. And that's why his performance was so convincing. You have to find some way to latch on, some way to connect with the character. So I pull a little bit on personal experience, and that's a big part of it to really feel the emotions. If there's sadness, to go to a focal point in my life that's caused me great sadness. Elation, joy, anger, just being goofy sometimes, finding those personal connections. Another part of the character is how does that character move based on these emotions? And again, I credit Bob Willie for teaching me this. It's kind of like the Native American thing of your spirit animal. What is the animal that you're basing your emotions on? And the Beast is difficult because the Beast isn't one particular animal. He's a lot of different animals, and none really that are real. Oh, sure, you could go to the lion example or tiger or, one of the, large jungle cats, as it were, or, um, but it, he's more like the Minotaur, as I see him. Kind of the bull. He's got that rage in there as well, um, and just so many other creatures. So knowing how to move is going to be really really difficult. Is he a dog? Uh, could be. I mean, he's got a tail. Is he a cat? Is he a hyena? So these are the things I have to think about in my mental transformation. That'll affect how I stand, how I move, how I deliver lines, how I interact with other characters, and then that's just another complete different thing to think about. My relationship to other characters, Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Chip, even. I don't have any direct interactions with Chip. But what is my relationship to Chip? What is Chip's relationship to me? How do I view the servants? I call them servants. But there seems to be reading in between the lines, there seems to be some tenderness between Mrs. Potts, almost like a mother figure for the prince, for the beast. And over time, I think the beast has come to listen to Lumiere and Cogsworth. He trusts them to a certain extent, and they do help give him guidance in his relationship with Belle. He drops the facade and he goes, okay, these people can help me. But at the beginning, they cower in his presence, and so initially the relationship is not a close one with the household servants. And then there's his attitude towards Maurice, his not knowing how to handle a female, not how to handle her presence, and there's the line in the script about Master, have you thought that about that this is the girl who could break the spell? And he says, of course I have. He said, I'm not a fool. And so he recognizes that the girl could save him, but he's not sure how to go about getting that. So it's terribly, terribly, terribly complicated character, and not one to be taken lightly. I think initially I don't want the audience to like my character. I want them to see the transformation between the beast without and the beast within, to the beast without and the human within. To see that transformation before we see the final transformation at the end. And I want the audience to fear and to dislike me almost as much as the servants do right at the beginning, and then like the Joker, like Heath Ledger's Joker, I want them to start to empathize and to find that part within themselves where they identify with what I'm going through, and share that journey of transformation with me. That's really what I want. And it's not going to be easy getting there in 3 months. Not at all. And as is my habit, I probably will get lost in this character at some point. And I have to be careful in my day-to-day that I don't really become the beast. But to really become the character, I have to become the character. And if we're to be a believable character, for transform from the stage to the audience, it's got to be completely believable, and it's not just something I put on when I get to the theater. It's got to be something I believe in, and so that's the task ahead of me, and it's a long, difficult journey. I've done lead parts before, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to the challenge, and hoping I can pull it off. So there you go, a little insight into my head as I become the Beast. Have a good night.